The U.S. is ramping up diplomatic efforts to prevent China from establishing a military base on Africa's western coast, a strategic region that could significantly boost Beijing's global military reach. Washington is reportedly pitching a deal to African nations, offering economic and security incentives in exchange for blocking Chinese military expansion in the area. This move is part of the broader U.S. strategy to counter China's growing influence on the African continent, which has become a battleground for the two global superpowers. If you found this deep dive into the U.S. China competition in Africa informative, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. China has been steadily increasing its presence in Africa through massive infrastructure investments, loans, and trade agreements. However, a military base on Africa's western coast would give China a significant foothold close to the Atlantic Ocean, raising concerns in Washington and among its allies. Such a base would provide China with the ability to project power far beyond its borders, potentially threatening U.S. and European interests in the region. In response, the U.S. is offering African countries an alternative partnership, emphasizing the benefits of aligning with the U.S. rather than China. The deal being proposed includes economic aid, security assistance, and investment in key infrastructure projects. By presenting these incentives, Washington hopes to persuade African leaders to resist China's overtures and maintain closer ties with the West. The U.S. strategy also involves boosting its military presence in the region, as part of a larger plan to counter China's influence not just in Africa, but globally. The Biden administration has made it clear that the U.S. sees China as its primary geopolitical competitor, and is taking steps to curb Beijing's military ambitions. The diplomatic push in Africa is just one aspect of this broader effort to limit China's global reach. Meanwhile, China continues to deepen its relationships with African nations, leveraging its economic power to build ports, railways, and other infrastructure across the continent. Beijing has also been offering loans and financial aid to African countries, often with fewer political strings attached compared to Western nations. This approach has made China an attractive partner for many African leaders who are looking for ways to spur development without the conditionalities that typically come with Western aid. However, the U.S. hopes that by highlighting the long-term risks of allowing a Chinese military base in the region, African leaders will opt for stronger partnerships with the West. Washington argues that China's military expansion could destabilize the region and make Africa a pawn in the larger geopolitical struggle between the U.S. and China. The Biden administration believes that offering security guarantees and economic incentives will be key to convincing African nations to resist China's military ambitions. This development is the latest example of the growing competition between the U.S. and China for influence in strategically important regions. As the two superpowers continue to vie for dominance on the global stage, Africa has emerged as a critical battleground. The outcome of this diplomatic push could have significant implications not just for U.S.-China relations, but for the future of global geopolitics.